Tennessee football is a top 10 team in the country, according to the Football Power Index over at ESPN. What's it going to take for Tennessee to actually be a top 10 team next fall? That and so much more. It is your Wednesday Locked On Vols.
You are Locked On Vols, your daily podcast on the Tennessee Volunteers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, good Wednesday morning, everybody. Welcome into Locked On Vols. I'm your host, Cain. I am a member of the VolQuest.com team covering Tennessee athletics, Tennessee football, Tennessee baseball, Tennessee recruiting, all that and more, Tennessee basketball over at VolQuest.com, and of course, your host of Locked On Vols, where it's free and available weekday mornings when you wake up. We cover everything here at Tennessee Athletics. We're part of the Locked On Podcast Network, where it is your team every single day. Got a fun show coming up here today. A lot to talk about. Baseball time. Casual baseball fans jumping on board this time of the year. This is when the baseball conversation really ramps up because for the fifth straight year, Tennessee baseball is on to super regional play. That's coming up in segment number 2. Josh Ward, his 40th birthday is today. He'll join us for Ward Wednesday, telling us what he's doing in a nonprofit with Second Harvest Food Bank in East Tennessee. And plus, we'll talk to him a little bit about baseball and football in segment number 3. But first, I do want to get into the conversation about Tennessee football and the Football Power Index and how the Volunteers are currently a top 10 team. Today's episode is brought to you in part by our friends over at FanDuel Sportsbook, where new customers can get $200 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. That's over at FanDuel Sportsbook. All right, so Tennessee is coming in here, the first Football Power Index of the 2025 season. Again, I recognize this is June the 4th. We're in the summer months, but we're leading into the season. You got to start somewhere. And over at ESPN.com, they had the first College Football Power Index for this upcoming season, and Tennessee is ranked number 10. So what is the Football Power Index? Well, it is an index that measures the team's true strength on net point scale, expected point margin versus average opponents on a neutral field. I like to call it the glasses and pocket protector section, segments. I like to do them throughout the offseason and, of course, during the season. And this is also a good gauge whenever you're trying to compare resumes. You're trying to compare resumes and you're trying to discuss, which team deserves to be in the college football playoff field and at what rankings and all that and more. This is the index that I use a lot in order to base my arguments around and so on and so forth. It's got, the Football Power Index. It's got efficiency ratings for offense, for defense, for special teams. It's got resume, your strength of schedule, your strength of remaining schedule, what you've done against top 10 opponents, all that and more. And it's all in one spot over at ESPN.com. And, right now, obviously, the resume is kind of bleak because there's no, there's no strength of schedule. There's no, wins against top 25 opponents. There's no efficiency ratings for what your offense, defense, or special teams have done to this point. So basically, it's just kind of ranking, on projections and what this index thinks your team is going to do. Well, this team thinks Tennessee's going to be okay. It's coming in at number 10. I'll get to the teams ahead of Tennessee and the teams below Tennessee here in a moment. But its projected win-loss margin for the Volunteers this year is 8.7 wins to 3.4 losses. In other words, a 9-3 season. If you round up the 8.7, round down the 3.4, it's a 9-3 season. Now, it is kind of right on that line there. It's not as close as you can be, but it's pretty close to a potential 8-4 campaign, based off these integers here. That's the second time I've used the word integers this week in a show. That's weird. My pre-calculus, freshman year or 8th grade Eric Cain would be beside himself that I've actually used that term a couple of times on a sports programming show. But the Football Power Index believes Tennessee's going to go 8.7 wins to 3.4 losses, or in other words, a 9-3 campaign. It gives Tennessee a 0.8% chance of running the table, of going undefeated. It gives Tennessee a 97.5% chance of winning at least 6 games. That's almost a given. That's expected. It gives Tennessee a 0% chance of winning its division because there are no divisions in the SEC anymore. East-West divisions are not there anymore. It gives Tennessee a 4.2% chance of winning the conference. Don't like those odds. However, it gives Tennessee a 38.5% chance of making the college football playoff. Again, with expanded playoffs now, you're seeing the percentages kind of vary on it's tougher to win the SEC than to make the field in the college football playoff. Not saying it's tougher to win the SEC than the national championship, but saying it's tougher to win the SEC than to just make the field, because the field has gone from 4 to 12 teams in the span of a couple of years, and it's only going to go up to 16 teams most likely here in the next year or two once they finally come to a resolution sometime before December the 1st. So 4.2% chance for the Volunteers to win the conference, 38.5% chance for Tennessee to make the playoff, a 5.6% chance of making the national championship game, and a 2.3% chance of becoming national champions. So I'm a father now. I can say this. It's time for the oldest. It's time for the silliest and the stupidest joke in the bank here. So you're telling me there's a chance? Yeah, 2.3% chance of winning a national championship according to this iteration of the Football Power Index over at ESPN. So not a bad starting point. Who are the teams from the SEC specifically that rank ahead of Tennessee in this Football Power Index? Well, Texas comes in at number 1. Georgia comes in at number 2. Alabama comes in at number 3. You got Texas A&M that comes in at number 8, and then there's Tennessee that comes in at number 9. Other SEC teams to pay attention to, you've got LSU at number 12, Ole Miss at number 13, Auburn at number 14. This goes to show you that the FPI doesn't necessarily reflect how the season's going to go. South Carolina at number 15, Oklahoma at number 16, Florida at number 18, Arkansas at number 22, Missouri at number 23, and then that is the SEC in the top 25. Others in the top 10 outside the conference, Ohio State is at number 4, Penn State at number 5, Oregon at number 6, so a lot of SEC Big Ten dominance here, Notre Dame at number 7, Miami at number 9. The biggest percentage of winning a national championship, Texas at 24.1%, Georgia at 17.9%, Ohio State at 10.8%, Alabama at 10.8%, and then you've got Penn State at 7%, and then it drops down to 4.3% for Oregon, and then the rest are in the 2s or the 1s. So that's winning the national championship. What about the greatest percent chance of making the playoff field? Texas is given an 83.9% chance of making the 12-team college football playoff. Georgia 78.6%, Ohio State 70.6%, Alabama 66.2%, Penn State 63.8%, Oregon 57.5%, and those are all the teams that are above the 50 percentile range of just making the college football playoff field. So interesting stuff. Again, you don't play football on paper, but the paper arguments are big in terms of debating and discussing and trying to figure out how to do those college football playoff rankings and so on and so forth in the month of November and on in December. So, this doesn't show us anything that we didn't already know. FanDuel has the line for Tennessee at 8.5, the win total line at 8.5. This says that Tennessee's probably a little bit likely to go 9-3 compared to 8-4. So this is right around where that FanDuel Sportsbook win-loss total is for the University of Tennessee, but doesn't really tell us anything we didn't already know. We know Tennessee's got a lot of questions, most importantly at quarterback. 4 starters got to be replaced on the offensive line. You got to replace Dylan Sampson in the backfield. Wide receiver, got to have more production there, and then you got to turn over the entire room. Defensively, got to replace James Pierce. Secondary looks good. Linebackers look good. I mean, again, there's still an awful lot to like about this roster. But I just wish we could get into fall camp right now, because I want to start answering some of these questions. I want to know, is William Satterwhite going to be the center? I want to know, is Chris Brazel going to take that second-year leap at wide receiver? I want to know what that running back room looks like with a potential 3-headed monster compared to that of being just a one-man show in Dylan Sampson a season ago. So interesting stuff. Tennessee Tennessee's very well respected in the FPI a lot of times, at this stage in the offseason. But it's only a starting point, and it's only kind of a place where you can start your arguments. You got to go out there and play and win some games, and certainly Tennessee is projected to win more games than it's supposed to lose this year, and potentially be on that doorstep of a college football playoff appearance. 38.5% is that chance here, according to the Football Power Index over at ESPN.com. All right. Appreciate you guys for being here. When we come back, let's talk college baseball. Let's talk Tennessee baseball and Tennessee's Tony Vitello's led club going to the Super Regionals for the 5th straight year. That's coming up next. We continue on here with this Wednesday Locked On Vols. The NBA playoffs are in full swing, and every night delivers highlight-worthy performances. Major momentum shifts and can't-miss moments, whether it's a game-winning shot or a breakout player. There's never been a better time to get in on the action. FanDuel makes it easy to stay in the game before tip-off and live with player props, performance trends, and same-game parlays. Fans have more ways than ever to play smart and to win big. Of course, NBA playoffs going on right now. Major League Baseball happening right now. You know who's hot. Why don't you throw them in, lump them into a same-game parlay and win even bigger? You got tons of college football futures, Heisman odds, win totals I referenced a moment ago. So much more. You can have so much fun over at FanDuel Sportsbook, and you can put some coin in your pocket. So if you're new to FanDuel, listen up. It's the perfect time to sign up right now. Head on over to FanDuel.com or check it out on the safe, secure, easy-to-use app. Place your first $5 bet. If it wins, you're going to get $200 in bonus bets. That ain't bad, right? First $5 bet for your first one over at FanDuel Sportsbook. If it wins, you get $200 in bonus bets to go and bet even more and look at some of those future plays. All that and more on the safe, secure, easy-to-use app. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. Tennessee baseball is on to super regional play for the 5th straight season and the 7th time in program history since the new format was introduced there about 25, 26 years ago. It's not bad, right? Some great teams in Tennessee history: 01, 05, 95. That was in the old format. But 01, 05, and then, of course, the Vitello years. Went back to regional play for the first time since 05 in 2019. And then from 2021 to now, Tony Vitello and the Vols are 14-1 in regional play. That one loss came on Sunday, a couple of days ago, losing to Wake Forest in Game 6 of the Knoxville Regional. Prior to that, Tennessee was 13-0. 13-0 in regional play since COVID. Pretty miraculous stuff, man. And of course, Tennessee handled business on Monday, erasing an early 2-0 deficit and storming back with a 7-run 4th inning, highlighted by a 3-run home run from Manny Marin. And that was only his, 3rd home run of the season, and then a 2-run shot by Andrew Fisher that really put the exclamation point on that 7-run 4th inning. And from there, I don't want to say Tennessee coasted because Tennessee didn't. Wake Forest, scored a couple of runs, but not leaving it up to chance. It was 8-5 the score, and then Tennessee went to Liam Doyle, who pitched 104 pitches on Friday night against Miami of Ohio, and then came in and nailed down the last 7 outs of the ball game, striking out 5 of those guys, didn't allow a base runner, and Tennessee goes on 11-6 the final score, taking down Wake Forest and going on to face Arkansas on the road at Baum-Walker Stadium in the Fayetteville Super Regional, beginning play Saturday at 5 o'clock. Saturday at 5 o'clock Eastern Time, Sunday at 2 o'clock Eastern Time are the Super Regional dates so far for Tennessee. If necessary, game on Monday, that time will be TBD. Your boy's going to fly out Saturday morning. I've got a return flight for Tuesday. Really looking forward to not only covering this Super Regional series, because, one of these two teams going to punch a ticket to Omaha. Tennessee looking to go to Omaha for the 4th time in 5 years, but also just to see the stadium. One of the better venues of all in college baseball. I haven't been to the Box Shed down at LSU. Didn't get a chance to go to Baum-Walker there at the end of the regular season, but now I'm going to be there. And so I'm really pumped to take part in that. We're going to talk with John Neighbors, Locked On Razorbacks, coming up later in the week. It's going to be a rematch of Tennessee and Arkansas from the final regular season series. And that's kind of when everything started turning around for Tennessee. Really the Vanderbilt series, the offense looked a little bit better, but Tennessee dropped that series. Tennessee dropped the Arkansas series, but the offense was clicking, man. The offense was coming back around and being a big focal point in the turnaround. And then that carried over to Hoover, where Tennessee took down Alabama and Texas, and the offense exploded. Tennessee had good offensive showings at points in times this week over a 4-game stretch, and things looked really good. So I'm excited about this rematch. We're going to look ahead and check out Arkansas and everything that the Razorbacks have to offer as the week goes on, but just kind of sit here and think about this, right? Liam Doyle, what he did on Monday night, he is going to be a top 10 pick. Some mocks have him at like number 2 or number 3 overall, okay? he so easily could have been like, man, I just threw 104 pitches. I'm going to, I might be pitching next weekend. I'm going to get mine. I'm going to step back or whatever. He practically fought Tony Vitello to get the baseball on Monday in some way, shape, or form. And he came in the seventh inning, as I mentioned earlier, faced 7 batters, retired all 7 of them in the game, 5 of which via a strikeout. In that stretch, he took over the single-season strikeout record holder for Tennessee, which was previously held by Luke Hochevar in 2005. I mean, Dalton Connect. I'm trying to think of some of these one-year wonders, like Dalton Connect. Liam Doyle's up there. Like, Liam Doyle has played himself into one of a fan favorites, all of Tennessee baseball players, despite only being here for 1 year. And, he's a Golden Spikes Award semifinalist. He is a National Pitcher of the Year semifinalist. He is the SEC Pitcher of the Year. He's had elite stuff all year long, but the fact that he said, hey, give me the baseball. I want to go win this game for Tennessee. I want to go punch our ticket to the next round. The way he carries himself on the field, the energy, the passion, sometimes it gets him into trouble, but he uses that. That fuels him. And boy, did it fuel him on Monday night. I mean, that performance just showed me, man, that guy will do whatever it takes to win. And that is endearing to Tennessee fans and something Tennessee fans will forever remember. So regardless of how things go in Fayetteville or in Omaha or how this season ends, Liam Doyle is going to go down as one of all favorite, in terms of baseball players of all time, despite only being here for 1 year. But some positive, man. Marcus Phillips looked great. Liam Doyle looked great all week long. Bottom of the order continues to hit with Cannon Peebles, who was actually ejected in the 8th inning. He's going to miss the first game in Fayetteville. Go read my 3-2-1 piece yesterday over at VolQuest.com if you want my opinions on the home plate umpire from Monday. Just clown show, to be completely honest. And I'm not one to cry ref. I think they have a thankless job. Most do a phenomenal job, but that home plate umpire was absolutely just awful. It's a clown show. The fact that he ejected Cannon Peebles in the bottom of the 8th inning of a 10-5 ball game at the time, but did not eject the guy that started the whole shouting match. So nonetheless, there's something there. But Tennessee's going to have to overcome that. But bottom of the order, Manny Marion, Cannon Peebles, Levi Clark continuing to hit well, Gavin Keelan, Andrew Fisher. What more can you say? Heart of the order didn't do too hot this weekend. Hunter Inslee, Dalton Bargo, Reese Chapman, although Reese Chapman drove in 5 big runs in some critical moments. But the offense overall pretty well-rounded and continuing to get some big-time appearances and showings from A.J. Russell, from Brandon Arvinson out of the bullpen. Just a really, really good weekend of baseball. Regional is such a tough thing to manage. You get to supers, it's in the first of 2 wins, right? It can be a 3-game series. That's kind of normal, right? You go about supers the way you would just a normal weekend series. Regional is very, very difficult. So I credit Tony Vitello and this staff. Went with Liam Doyle on Friday night. If you did not go, and I was one of them, I was saying, why don't you start Marcus Phillips, right? But again, I don't coach baseball, and that's why. I don't make $3 million. That's clearly why. The fact that you started Liam Doyle on a Friday night meant you could use him on Monday, and boy, Tennessee could have still maybe won that game, but when Liam Doyle went in the game, it was over. It was completely over. So congratulations, Tennessee baseball. Tony Vitello, again, 5th straight super regional appearance. No team over the last 5 years has made 3 straight. Okay, put that in perspective. Tennessee has a chance to punch its 4th trip to Omaha in 5 years. Just phenomenal work. Phenomenal work. This Tennessee baseball team, for all the frustrations, it's important to remember it's the model of consistency under Vitello. It's a model of consistency, and that's kind of here where we are again, going to super regional play. So excited to check that out in Fayetteville this weekend. Of course, I'll be doing the shows remotely. We'll have a show up Monday, Tuesday, and everything in between. So looking forward to that. Appreciate you guys for being here. When we come back, Ward Wednesday, Josh Ward, he is running for a cause on his 40th birthday today. You can help. You can make a difference. We'll tell you how. And plus, we're going to get his thoughts, of course, on Tennessee baseball and Tennessee football as well when we come back right here on your Wednesday Locked On Vols. Josh Ward, welcome onto the show, Ward Wednesday. First and foremost, happy birthday.
Thank you.
As we spoke about last week, and as I put on the show notes the last couple of days, and we're going to be posting on social media, and we already have been, you are benefiting Second Harvest today. For your birthday, you're turning 40. you are going to attempt to run/walk, I should say, 40 miles. Again, that is 2 days. So by the time people are listening to this right now, maybe you've already started. You plan on starting at 6 a.m. Josh, how long do you anticipate this taking you? Is it going to be a 6 a.m. to 6 p.m.? Again, I don't know how long it's going to take you to run/walk 40 miles, but you have been training.
Yeah, I have been training. The goal is to completion. So I'm not racing anybody. I'm racing myself, and the goal is to complete 40 miles. It's a run, walk, run method. So I'll at least going in, start out running 5 minutes, walk a minute, run 5 minutes, walk a minute on repeat. So if all goes well, in the 9 to 10 hour range. If all does not go well, then let's figure it out from there. But the purpose is to help Second Harvest Food Bank and their Food for Kids program, which is important all the way throughout the year, but especially during the summer months. So this is not going to be easy. I go into this knowing it's going to be very hard. I've never done 40 miles. I've done a marathon, and that's been a while ago, but I have been training and feeling a little bit of outside knee pain, but I wonder, is that real or is that just the nerves leading up to it? But I also figure I can deal with some pain for a few hours if we can help out an important organization. I think it's important to know as well, Second Harvest helps people here in East Tennessee, covers 18 counties. They help serve more than 200,000 people in those 18 counties. And these are people that are working hard, but they're in a tough situation. Maybe they run into an unexpected bill one month or over a few months, and they're having to make choices. Okay, can I take care of this expense, or can I take care of my groceries? And Second Harvest helps fill that gap to where they can take care of needs and still make sure they're getting the nourishment. And then, of course, Food for Kids. Like, I have 3 young kids, 7, 5, and 3, and I'm challenged every day to try to get them to eat their food. They have so many options, and they snack, and they'll say, oh, I want this, and then you give it to them. Oh, I don't want that, and then their plates have half the food left. And then I think about kids who they're just hoping they can get all of their meals served each day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. No kid should have to worry about that. Second Harvest helps make sure those kids don't have those concerns.
At the time of this recording, and again, this is Tuesday morning, so by the time this airs, hopefully you're soaring past this, but you're at 70% of your goal, a little over 3,500. Your goal is 5,000. How can we support you, not only monetarily, but also emotionally during this time? I mean, people listening and watching the show right now, knowing that you're running right now. How can we support you in this endeavor?
Yeah, thanks. So you can easily type in josh40.com, JOSH40.com. That will take you directly to the virtual food drive. That's how it's set up. So you're not giving me money. The money you give goes directly to Second Harvest, which is incredibly efficient with the money that they use to help provide nutritious food. That is the goal every single day. So josh40.com. Is the virtual food drive. And I'll be honest with you, we set the initial goal at 5,000, hoping that it was pretty attainable. And I think that's been the case. I would love to soar past that, knowing what that money can do for people in East Tennessee. So any kind of contribution is great. Swain on our show, he challenged anybody that has $40. So if you can do $1 a mile, that'd be awesome. Anything more is wonderful. Anything honestly counts. So $5, $10, anything counts with the way that Second Harvest is able to help. And I'll be on the Greenway for a while. So it's the Greenway at Cherokee Farm, which we really appreciate them hosting us. It's a Greenway, so anybody can come out at any point. It's essentially a back and forth loop that is 3.08 miles. So 13 times that comes out to be 40 miles. And I will be doing that. We'll have started at about 6 a.m., but it's going to take me a few hours. So come on out. And if you want to do a mile, a lap, and don't worry about pace. I've been asked, well, I don't want to slow you down. This isn't an elite marathon runner's pace. I've on purpose slowed down my pace from what I typically run to try to conserve for 40 miles.
I mean, not 9 hours or so. I mean, when are you going to use the bathroom, man? I mean, I'm nervous for you on that one.
Yeah. So the other funny thing has been all the preparation and trying to check off items that I need: food, nutrition, water, and restroom, because it is a Greenway. They don't have a restroom along there. So fortunately, have a friend who has a porta potty company and is going to set something up for me, because that will be necessary over that period of time. Anybody who knows anything about distance running, you can run into some emergent situations. So would like to avoid that being a problem as much as possible. But yeah, I've got a checklist of all the things I hope that I take care of ahead of time, and hopefully that list is long enough. I've also had people helping me. I think I mentioned last week on the show, but a guy who ran at UT, so he's a local guy, VFL, Andy Baxa. He's a physical therapist in Knoxville. He's helped put together the training plan. Otherwise, I would have been doing it blindly and probably incorrectly. So the help that he's provided, AG Hines Company is a local company that is awesome, and they've sponsored this because the sports animal is going to be set up. So you don't have to come say hello to me. You can come by and say hello to Eric Ainge and Jason Swain from 9 until 3 because they're going to be doing the shows there as well. So, yeah, a lot of people have helped me. I'm doing the 40 miles, but I'm not doing it alone.
Man, I'm excited for you. I'll be rooting on you. I'll be rooting for you. I'm not going to come run beside you, but I will be rooting for you throughout the day here this morning. So really, really happy for you, proud of you. And again, Josh Ward doing all this on his 40th birthday to raise money for kids in East Tennessee this summer via Second Harvest. So that's awesome stuff. Want to ask you, man, Tennessee baseball, water's wet. Tennessee baseball back in the Super Regional, right?
Yeah. 5th
straight year, 7th time in program history. Remember, Super Regionals haven't always been a thing since they redid the format in the late 90s or whatever. After all the frustrations from this year, you're still one of the final 16 teams left standing, going to Fayetteville, Arkansas, a place where you haven't had a whole lot of success at all. When you look at the Super Regional matchups, this is really the only one that's just like, oh my gosh, 2 great teams. Just the way the field's kind of worked itself out. Your thoughts on Tennessee's win in the Super Regional? It took till Monday, but they got it done, and now, again, going to Fayetteville for Supers.
Yeah, I hope people don't take for granted the fact that Tennessee's back in this kind of position, and I don't know what the result's going to be. It's obviously going to be difficult to get to Omaha. It's supposed to be difficult to get to Omaha. That's the way it works, even if you're hosting in the regional and Super Regional. Look at the teams that are not there. Look at Vandy at home, Texas at home, the fight that LSU had to take on. We can go through a few others that fell short, several in the SEC besides the ones I just mentioned. So it's very difficult to be in this spot. Maybe Tennessee should have or could have had a better regular season to be in a better spot, but they might have had a tougher regional draw, and then you don't know. You get bounced. So I thought the way Tennessee responded was really impressive after a tough way to lose on Sunday night, coming back on Monday, falling behind, not by a great margin, but at home where the pressure can start to build a little bit. And the team responded. When responding in that final day of a series had not been easy the previous 6 to 8 weeks. So I thought that was quite a showing and a story, what Liam Doyle was able to do. I mean, the transfer portal pickups, Doyle and Fisher and Keelan, have clearly paid off for what Tennessee has done all season long, and then coming up clutch when it really mattered. So let's see. It's going to be a tough series. Arkansas is really good. ESPN had the story going into the start of the NCAA tournament. 2 most talented teams, I think, going off first and second round projections in the MLB draft. Tennessee won, Arkansas 2. So it's maybe too tough of a super regional matchup for either side, because Arkansas could also say, wait a minute, why do we get Tennessee? We did our job to get to this spot. Why are we getting Tennessee? So that's the draw. I think it'll be a great series this weekend.
Where would you put, and again, the season's not over. I mean, when you look at Dalton Connect, Elite 8, and Dalton Connect, had this accolade and this accolade. But when you kind of sit here and think about it, I mean, Liam Doyle, SEC Pitcher of the Year. He's in the conversation for the National Pitcher of the Year. Mm-hmm. He's a Golden Spikes Award semifinalist. He's going to be, gosh, man, probably, top 10, maybe top 5 draft pick come this summer. I mean, kind of where are you ranking Liam Doyle in terms of these one-year wonders with Tennessee? I mean, it's kind of weird to say that he's got to be up there with Dalton Connect right now, right? And again, we'll see how it ends, but I think what he did this past weekend only amplifies that with, gets the start on Friday. Remember, dealing blitzers all year long. He throws 104 pitches, demands to get the baseball on Monday, and comes in and pitches the final 2 innings in a third and picks up that save.
Yeah, I have to imagine that the legendary status, if that's what it becomes, or at least the way that Doyle is seen by Tennessee fans, was elevated with what he did in the regional, coming back and helping Tennessee secure that victory on Monday night. I have to imagine that elevates his status. It can't be easy to follow a national championship winning team. And in Doyle's case and Fisher's case, to be newcomers coming in, Like what Fisher did this season is incredible. I think that's kind of been overlooked when you think about him reaching base every game and his streak extending back to the end of last season. That's remarkable. But he had to follow Christian Moore and Blake Burke and guys who did obviously legendary things and going out and winning a national championship. But they have to be appreciated. I think that has probably grown because the season itself didn't live up to anybody's true goals for the team, for the fans. When Tennessee was number one, nobody was thinking, hey, get to the SEC tournament and fight to host a regional. But these players have done big things. They're back in a super regional. And I think the way that they were able to gut out those wins in Knoxville and fans were there to see it and the emotion that was on display, that will be a big deal long-term. Whether this team gets back to Omaha or not, I think these players that you're talking about will forever be appreciated by Tennessee fans. And you'll also have a good chance to see them beyond Tennessee have success. That will be a part of it too. Fans, I think, have enjoyed watching Tennessee players in baseball as well as the other sports go on and find professional success. And starting with Liam Doyle, they're going to have that opportunity moving forward too.
Tennessee baseball continues playing on to Fayetteville for the Super Regionals this weekend. Of course, we'll keep you updated right here on Locked On Vols. Josh, can't wait to catch up with you next week and kind of recap and discuss your 40-mile journey. Happy birthday again. Congratulations on everything and super awesome stuff what you're doing for Second Harvest Food Bank of East Tennessee. So as people are listening and watching right now, again, can still support. Come by, check out Josh at the Greenway, the Cherokee Farm Greenway, but also that link's going to be in the show notes. I'm going to be tweeting it out as well. But Josh, get us your website, how we can support you in terms of trying to reach that goal of $5,000.
Yeah, josh40.com, josh40.com. And one note, because we got asked this during the show a couple days ago, the food drive will just continue. Remember Jemai Mashak's food drive? He did this for Second Harvest after his game winner against Alabama, and it stayed live. It may still be, but it stayed live for a couple of months. So the food drive will not end with the completion of my run. We can't even guarantee that my run will ever finish. I might still be out there for the next couple of days trying to finish these 40 miles, but it will stay live. So if you hear this in a day or two and you think, oh, well, that was a couple of days ago, sorry, I missed it. It's still live right now whenever you're listening. So josh40.com, and the money you give goes directly to Second Harvest Food Bank of East Tennessee.
It's a really good note right there. Really good note that if you're listening to this a day or two after, you can still support josh40.com. All right, Josh, good luck. Maybe you're listening to this while you're running here on a Wednesday morning. Probably wouldn't. I try to.
By the way, no headphones in the run. I am sorry. I'll still check the show out afterward, but okay. I will be out there on my training runs. It's been me and my mind. So there's a lot of positive reinforcement while I'm running, but no headphones, no music, live sports animal or podcast or anything like that. It's just me and the wind.
I'll tell you, buddy, good luck. I mean, it's all daunting. It's all terrifying, sure. But not listening to anything? Goodness gracious, Josh. Goodness gracious. All right, man. Well, looking forward to seeing how it goes tomorrow or today. And happy birthday again, man. Thanks so much.
Yeah, thanks, Eric. I appreciate it.
All right, good stuff there from Josh Ward on a bit we call Ward Wednesday right here on Locked On Vols each and every single Wednesday. Again, go support Josh Ward. A lot of baseball conversation today. Tennessee on to Super Regionals. We'll continue that conversation throughout the rest of the week. And the latest in Tennessee football, again, some big topics coming from Destin and the SEC spring meetings. All that and more. And it's coming up tomorrow on a Thursday Locked On Vols. Until then, enjoy the rest of your Wednesday, everybody.